What determines what you can build, where you can build it, and which activities can happen on your property? That's zoning, a set of local regulations that guide development in our city. Zoning stems from two main legal concepts, nuisance law and police power. Under nuisance law, if your neighbor's activity on his property negatively impacts your property, you could sue your neighbor. Police power is the ability of a government to regulate its citizens' affairs ahead of time to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public as a whole. If you're watching at home, you're most likely in an R1 zone. Uses that would create noise, traffic, pollution, and other negative impacts are not allowed in this low-density residential zone. Tall buildings would limit neighbors' access to sunlight or views, and buildings too close together would increase the risk of fire spread and decrease privacy. Together, allowable uses, height limits, and setbacks attempt to shut down any nuisance conditions ahead of time while protecting the established character of the neighborhood. Many of your favorite Albuquerque streets and neighborhoods were designed and built at a time before Euclidean or single-use zoning began to guide the development of our city. The high-character streets and areas we love are former mixed-use areas built at a time when people in our city walked. However, after widespread use of the streetcar, then private car, and other modes of public transportation, it became easier to separate people's homes from their jobs through designated residential, commercial, and industrial zones. This gave Albuquerque the sprawling shape it has today. The first City of Albuquerque zone map was published in 1959 and was updated in 1975. But over 40 years passed until Albuquerque adopted a new zoning code in 2018. For decades, our past codes were primarily focused on suburban, single-use development. They did not accommodate for mixed-use buildings, public transit, pedestrians, or bicycles. And most importantly, it did not accommodate for the unique characteristics that vary across our city's diverse neighborhoods and historic areas. Rather than update the zoning code to accommodate for unique needs of neighborhoods, over 60 sector development plans were adopted for Albuquerque's individual neighborhoods. These added complexity and confusion to the zone map and approval processes, and contributed to a staggering total of over 840 unique zones approved for Albuquerque. Simplified to around 20 zones from the 840, the IDO map looks just as daunting to dive into, but it is more user-friendly, and it hopes to drive sustainable patterns of development along existing centers and corridors while protecting the city's established neighborhoods. But some neighborhoods still don't feel protected under the IDO. Martineztown is suing the city, claiming their residential neighborhood is being deteriorated by zones that allow heavy commercial and industrial uses. And beginning in 2020, be on the lookout to be involved with the city's community planning areas where you can identify and suggest even more changes to help improve the IDO.